Well, welcome back to the Baseball Hut, and we're back here. We're going to talk again about our favorite subject, Shohei Ohtani. Show me the money. And before we get into that, please like this video and subscribe and hit the bell. Hit the bell for notifications. Very important. So I'm finding that a lot of people aren't watching when I put up a video. So I need you, my great subscribers, to hit that bell. You might not be aware that the videos are going up. So, as you know, the Angels, I did a video on the Angels earlier. I'll put the link in the description discussing the Angels, the disaster out there in California, and how Artie Moreno, the owner, has decided that he doesn't want to sell. Doesn't want to sell? You're a disaster as an owner. They've made 2 playoff appearances in the last 20 years. They haven't had a winning season since 2015. They have 2 of the best players in baseball on their team, Mike Trout and Ohtani, and they have gone absolutely, positively nowhere. And I got an idea. Let me hold on to this situation. Now, he has decided, as Artie Moreno, to hold on to the team because he loves the fans. I never felt more bad for a fan base than I saw with the Angels. They got their hopes up that Moreno was going to sell the team, and he pulled the rug from underneath them, and he didn't. So now we have a situation where Shohei Ohtani is a free agent next season, after this season that's coming up, and there's probably a good likelihood he's probably going to walk. From what I understand, I think there's been reports, he's not happy there in Anaheim. Who can blame him? He's been there 6 years, and the team has really not improved. Now, from what I understand, when teams were bidding for him a few years ago, he didn't have one East Coast team that he talked to beyond one interview. And the New York Yankees was one of those teams that was very interested in him, and they were very disappointed that he didn't talk to them a second time. In fact, the furthest east he came was the Chicago Cubs. And obviously he signed with the Anaheim Angels. I would mention that Billy Epler, the Mets general manager, was the general manager in Anaheim when Ohtani got signed. Now, as you know, the Mets tried to sign Carlos Correa about a month ago, and that kind of fizzled out because he had a bum knee, and because of that bum knee, the Mets tried bum ankle. Because of that bum ankle, the Mets tried to renegotiate. That didn't really go anywhere, and he re-signed with the Twins. But we know Steve Cohen pretty well now that he will go after the big fish, and Correa was the big fish on the market up until he walked away to go back to the Twins. But Ohtani is the big fish. He'll be the biggest fish we've ever seen in the last 10 years. He is a top 10 pitcher. He's a top 10 hitter. We might be talking about a $500 million contract for 10 years with this player. Because you're not acquiring one player, you're acquiring 2 players. Two. And because of that, he's going to get so much money. Well, that doesn't matter. What matters is, as Met fans, Steve Cohen will be in the bidding. He'll be bidding for this player. He loves big, shiny things, and that is the shiniest star in baseball, the Shohei Ohtani. Now, Ohtani's been a dominant player the last 2 seasons. He won the MVP in 2021. He hit over 50 home runs, drove in over 100 runs. Last year, he finished second in the MVP voting, and the only reason he finished second was because of the fact that Aaron Judge hit and broke the American League home run record. And Ohtani won 15 games this year. He didn't have as good of an offensive year, but he still was there, hit over 30 home runs, but also had a really big pitching season. He won 15 games. He was excellent. And he is he's not quite like Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth was able to do these things, but he didn't do it at the same time on a regular basis for many years. Now he has done this for the last 5-6 years, but the output over the last 2 years has been Hall of Fame like, and it would be interesting to see what kind of market he has now. Rumor is that the Mets and the Yankees, for that matter, are not going to trade for him. He might get traded. There is a possibility that Ohtani could get traded before the August 1st trading deadline. But the Mets and the Yankees are not going to put all their prospects into one player. And that would kind of go against, what the Mets have been talking about over the last 2 years, trying to rebuild the farm system. And that farm system is really starting to reap benefits. We're going to start to see more of these guys coming up. Hopefully we'll get a more mature version of Beatty. As Brett Beatty, we'll get a much more stable version of Mark Vientos. At some point, we'll get to see Francisco Alvarez, see where he is at. Seems like the Mets are a little concerned about his catching right now. I've mentioned this about minor leagues. They missed 2020. So that's a year of development that all these players miss for that 1 year. So that's huge when you're a young player and you need that development. It means you don't have enough innings in you. You don't have enough at-bats. And really experience, really, we're talking about. So I don't expect the Mets to dump a boatload of prospects on the Angels for Ohtani. Because if we're talking about prospects, and I said this in other videos, the Mets would have to give up at least 6 top-notch prospects. Alvarez, Beatty, Vientos, Ramirez. Vientos, they might not even be interested. They would probably want Jeff McNeil. They would probably want some other everyday player that's on the Mets that you may not want them to move. I know I don't want to see Jeff McNeil get moved, just for an example. So we're talking about a player that is going to cost a lot, just in terms of players. So if you're a smart business person and the Mets are in a great position to win the World Series this year, you don't have to bring this player in. You could wait till next year and bring him in. He might not even want to be here in New York. You never know. But money talks. That money, that do-re-mi talks. Now, what do you get when you get him? Well, you get a top-notch pitcher. You get a top 10 pitcher. You get a top 10 hitter. And you get the biggest star in baseball. Ideally, what I want to see as a Met fan, Mets win the World Series this year. They bring in Ohtani. The ballpark will be sold out every night. As Met fans, we love the Mets, and when the Mets win, we go to the ballpark. And every game would be sold out. And if Ohtani were to come here, people would be very, very excited to watch him pitch here every 5-6 days. There is a caveat. There's one little issue, and it's more than just a little issue. When it comes to Ohtani, from what I understand, they have a 6-man rotation in Anaheim to cater to him. That's why he only started, 25 games last year. That is very important to remember. Justin Verlander has 244 wins. And I'm sure he wants to get to 300. There was a lot of talk when we had the last 300-game winner. I guess it was Tom Glavine, I think, that we weren't going to see another one. And we haven't since. Verlander would want to get that number 300. If the Mets go to Verlander and say, look, we're going to sign Ohtani, but you're not going to start every 5th day, how's he going to handle that? Knowing that he's going to lose 6 or 7 starts a year, and the ability to win 300 during this contract. Again, he has a 2-year contract, Verlander, with the Mets, with a 3rd year as an option. Would he want to stay here knowing that he's going to lose starts after the first year? I don't know. These are the kinds of things you have to consider when you bring him in, and that goes for any team. Especially if you're the Mets and you're a big team, spend a lot of money, and you want to get the most out of your team, but also you want to be able to make your players happy too. So, but these are the kind of considerations the Mets will have to do. Steve Cohen has told his front office that he wants to start exploring it, meaning that he's very interested in bringing this player in, which you don't blame. Even if you weren't like Steve Cohen, you'd be interested anyway. And knowing that Epler has a relationship with the player, it makes a big difference too. So I will keep doing videos on Shohei Ohtani because I need to sort of let you know where he's at. I don't expect him to get traded. Or at least I didn't think that way before they were up for sale, and that's the Angels. But now that the Angels are not up for sale, he might get moved. He might get moved. But he won't be coming to the Mets, so just understand that. It doesn't seem like the Mets are interested in moving any of their prospects. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Leave comments in the comments section. Also, again, very important, try to hit that bell for notification. So you'll be the first to watch it, and just you'll get it right away. Once I upload a video, I put it on there. You can watch it. And I thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you later.